All right, guys. Well, my name is Dan. I'm implementation specialist and manager with OnTarget. So today we're going to be, of course, going over how to use OnTarget. So it's really going to be kind of a two-part in this hour that we've got together. We're going to take some time to go over the desktop version of OnTarget. And then really on the back half, we'll go over the mobile app. And that way you're just familiar with both platforms. Just a little bit of housekeeping to kind of get out of the way first, and then we'll jump into OnTarget. Just this website, I would definitely make a note of the ProCareUnlimited.com website. You've likely already been here to this website, especially if you registered for this training on your own. But there is a chat feature here that you can ask any question about OnTarget. This actually taps into our knowledge base. You also have this additional OnTarget support link. If you signed up for this training on your own, this is likely where you came to sign up for the virtual training. If you have not gotten a chance to download the mobile app and you're wanting to use the mobile app on your device, this will walk you through how to do that if you're on an Android device or if you are on an Apple device. So that is a specific app where you can download that from the App Store or Google Play. Some additional training resources here that are really good, some videos. We are going to be going over about 99% of this today. So if you get it here, you should be good to go. But if you need to refer back to it, you can come here. Some good quick reference guides, some flow charts, those kind of things. If you do need some additional assistance after we close today, your best way of doing that is actually to reach out via this email. I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. So the ProCareUnlimited@aboundhealth.com. All right. And actually, I am going to put that in the chat real quick. Let's put that in the chat so you've got that. All right. So again, if you get stuck, like if you got a technical issue or you get in there and you're unable to complete your note or sign your note, or you're getting an error message, something like that, that would be a great reason to reach out to that email address. So that's being manned at all times. There's a whole team of folks at ProCare that are responding to those emails and tickets. So that's one. That's probably your best way of, again, triaging, getting in touch to get some support. All right, guys. So like I said, this is going to be a two-part. We'll start with the desktop version of OnTarget, and then we're going to move over to the mobile. So you'll see kind of both versions of the platform. We like to start with the desktop. I would imagine a lot of you guys are going to be using the mobile, and that is great. I think it's probably the most user-friendly platform out there. The desktop, however, it's always good to know how to use it in the event that you do need to, or if this is your primary use and the way that you're going to use OnTarget. So let's go ahead and get logged in. So the web address is ontargetclinical.com. So it works with any browser, any major browser. In fact, if you forget that actual URL, if you just type into Google or Safari, if you just type in OnTarget Clinical, you're going to get the correct link, and it's going to take you to this login page. For most of you, your username, if you haven't received this via email yet, your username is set up as first name dot last name. That is not case sensitive, so you can use all lowercase if you want. That's fine. So first name dot last name. There may be a variation on that. If the first name dot last name does not work, you can try a 1 after that, just the number 1. And then your passwords, I'm going to also put this in the chat real quick. Your temporary password should be this "let me in 1" exclamation. You're going to capitalize the L and 1 exclamation. And guys, we're going to save some time for some Q&A toward the end, especially if you've got some remaining questions. And I do have Kamaya on with ProCare, so we'll kind of try to tag team that and get your questions answered. If you have some questions as we go throughout, the best way that you can kind of put those in is just put it in the chat. So as things come up, just kind of put those in there, and we'll get to them. Otherwise, we'll kind of be moving quickly. Okay, so let's go ahead and get logged in. Okay. And here we go. We got logged in successfully. So the landing page for the desktop version of OnTarget, what you're seeing here is really this dashboard. And you only see these 2 widgets. So you see right here, unsigned, unapproved notes and my tasks. So just very briefly, going to kind of give an explanation of these. Unsigned, unapproved notes. This is really any notes that you have started in OnTarget are going to show up right here. So they're notes that you've started. It's a work in process, but you have not completed them and you have not signed them yet. So it's really designed to kind of grab your attention, right? It's kind of flashing red lights, if you will. So you want to, if you see something right there, that means, again, unfinished business. You want to go into that note. You want to get it finished, get it signed, and then you're done for the day. I'll just very quickly show you. Opening up a note from here is very, very easy. You can see my cursor here on the left. If I click on Edit Note, looks like this little pencil icon. That just opens up my work in process note. So that's kind of just to give you a preview. That's what the note looks like. We're going to go through the whole process, though, guys. We're going to go from start to finish, how you actually launch a note. So that's the unsigned notes dashlet or widget. The My Tasks widget, the one below that, is really just messaging inside of OnTarget. What you're seeing right here, these are like automated messages. It's really just letting me know, hey, I've had some changes to my timesheet. I've had time added, and I need to go ahead and sign off on them. So those are the kinds of messages. Eventually, you'll see things like messages for your certifications. So think, CPR, first aid, HIPAA, those kind of things. You're going to get those kind of tasks in here. Just reminders saying, hey, this is coming out, this training, that kind of thing. So those are the 2 widgets, 2 kind of unsigned, unapproved notes in the tasks. Where we're going to spend, I would say, maybe 90% of our time, guys, is between scheduling and notes, but primarily here at scheduling. So if you're here on the desktop and you go to scheduling, you get this calendar view. It's really nice, it's kind of like a Google Calendar. So what you're seeing here, if I kind of hover over these are calendar events or scheduled events, right? So if I hover over this, it shows my name as the caregiver. It shows the client name, the service provided, the date, and in this case, the 0100, that means 1 hour of time. Right here, you see from, what was that, Tuesday? That was community living and support, and that was for 2 hours, okay? So that's really all you're seeing here in terms of the schedule. I'm going to go through with you how to add schedules, how to edit, how to delete. We're going to do that in just a few minutes. Before I do that, however, one of the most important filters that you can apply If you, again, follow my cursor up here, I'm moving it on the top left. If you click on Show Note Not Created, the checkbox right here, I would say that is probably the single most important filter here at scheduling that you can use, because it's really showing you scheduled events where you have not even started a note yet. Okay. So you can see, if I look back here on Monday, I've got scheduled time for community living and support for CLS for 2 hours. And again, you may be providing a different service. Maybe you're providing personal care, or you're providing respite services. All of that is pre-configured. You're going to see the services and the clients that you work with. So there's no worrying from that standpoint. All that's going to be kind of pre-populating. So this would be an example of where, look, I need to open this up, and right here where it says add edit note, I need to go ahead and start this note, right? I'm already 2 days out from when, or actually 3 days out now from when I should have started that note. So again, show note not created, super, super important. The opposite of that is show note created. If you want to say, okay, yeah, I'm keeping track here. These are the ones where I did complete my notes, right? And then if you remove all the filters, you're just seeing all of your schedules, okay? Obviously, anything in the future, you're not going to be able to do anything with those yet, but you can certainly schedule them. You can get them put on your calendar. So I want to go ahead and show you that. I want to show you the process of actually adding a scheduled event onto the calendar. It's very, very easy to do. So, and pretty much everybody on this call, your starting date is on Monday, right? So Monday, May the 4th. So creating a schedule, super easy. You just click right here on the cell, right? Or like if I needed to schedule yesterday, I would click on yesterday. But I'm going to add a scheduled event for today. So I'm just gonna left click on that. I'm going to see my caregiver. Now, when I click on caregiver, I only see my name. So you don't even have to worry about, typing anything in. When you click on the drop down for client, you're only going to see your assigned clients. Okay. When you click on service, you're only going to see the services that client is approved for. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to schedule the CLS non-EVV. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. So I want to put 1 hour on there. I'm going to put 0100, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And there you go. It's that easy, guys. That easy to put a scheduled event. So most of you already know this whole, EVV versus non-EVV. If you're not familiar, EVV is electronic visit verification. So we're talking about the clocking in, clocking out, right? So in order to clock in and clock out, if you've been doing that on the exchange, if you've been doing that via HHA, going forward, meaning starting as of Monday, you're not doing that anymore. You're clocking in here, in on target. Okay. If you don't need to clock in and out, you likely already know that, and you're going to see a non-EVV service. That would be in cases where, like, you're the living caregiver, you're a relative as provider. So you likely already know that if you've completed an attestation form to that effect. If you feel like you should be seeing a non-EVV and you are not seeing the non-EVV, like you're seeing EVV there, then certainly reach out to that email address at procareunlimited@aboundhealth.com, and make sure the attestation form has been completed, all that good stuff. So that's kind of the spiel for EVV. Again, this is not a ProCare mandated thing. It's not on target. That's a federal mandate thing, right? So clocking in and clocking out, if you do have to clock in and clock out and you've got the EVV version of a service, clocking in and out on the desktop is very easy. Right here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see clock in. I'm moving my cursor in the top right-hand corner here. So you would just say, you know, look, I'm ready. I put my scheduled event on here, and now I'm going to go ahead and clock in. Okay. Clocking in super easy. I'm just getting a message here that says, hey, you don't have an EVV service scheduled for today right now. Okay, that's normal. I'm going to actually show you the clocking in and out when we get to the second half, to the mobile part of the training. So clocking in, it would be super easy here. You would click on clock in, you would see your shift, and then you would click on OK. And then once you've done that, this would say clocked in as of, and it would give a timestamp. And then you would see the clock in would then change to clock out. Okay. Because now you are clocked in and you're waiting until the end of your shift, to the end of the period, and then you're clocking out. Right. So clocking in, clocking out. If you don't have to do that, however, you're just going to go right into the schedule, add the schedule, and you're going to launch your node. Okay. And that's what I'm going to do. This is a non-EVV. So that's for today. I've got 1 hour of time. I'm going to click on Add Edit Note. I'm here on the lower left of this window. See me kind of moving my cursor. So Add Edit Note. All right, let me expand this a little bit so you can see it a little better. So on the bottom right, it says Create Note. The first thing I need to do is I've got to put my time in here, right? So let's say, excuse me, that I did this from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., right? So I'm just putting my cursor in there, typing that in. I did that for 1 hour. And now all I've got to do is click on bottom right, Create Note. All right, guys, here's my note. I've already kicked it off. So it's a work in process. You can see I've got this yellow, right? Everything's kind of highlighted in yellow. That's really indicating that I have not addressed the goals yet. So I've got 3 goals with this individual. First one is a money management goal. The next one is a laundry goal. The third is a meal prep. So let's go ahead and kind of go through these. It's super easy, guys. If I actually hover over all of these cells, the only thing that I can even put in here is an X, okay? So first one, let's say we're working on money management skills. You know, maybe I had to give some verbal prompts. So I'm gonna put an X in there. So this again, just reading left to right, independent verbal prompt for VP, gesture, model, physical prompt, HOH, refusal, not applicable. We've got same, meaning that they're, as far as progress, it's kind of flatlined, right? Just kind of same progress. Improvement, IMP, decrease, and then NA. And then you do have optional comments here too, so you can put comments in there. We've gotten this question a couple of times. You're seeing the template for community living and support. However, you may not be providing the service. Maybe you're providing personal care or you're providing respite. The process is exactly the same, guys. As far as adding your schedule, writing your note, process is exactly the same, but the template is much simpler for those services. So personal care, you know, you've got things like meal prep and you've got, you know, laundry and cleaning, right? Things like that. And it's really a yes or a no, right? So you're not going to have this massive grid with those services. You're just going to have like, was it completed? Yes. Or was it an NA? Same kind of thing with respite is kind of, was it a yes or was it a no? Right. But process wise, same thing. Okay. So this one, money, verbal prompts, you know, maybe we're improving, maybe we're doing pretty well. Laundry, she just was not feeling it today. So yeah, refusal. Did not want to do laundry. We're actually seeing a steady decrease there. Just wasn't feeling today. All right, and then staff will assist on meal preparation. She absolutely loves to cook. That was an independent, and we are steady improving on that. We just keep improving. All right, guys, you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, I've got the disk icon for save. So I want to click on save. Make sure you do that, especially if you're on the desktop. You want to click on save throughout, especially if you've got a bunch of goals, right? If you've got a whole bunch of goals you're having to complete for your client, you don't want to lose your work. There's not an auto save on the desktop. The mobile actually does have some auto save functionality. So when we get to that, you will see that in process. So definitely save. You don't want to lose your work. Member guardian signature. So this is not your signature unless you are the guardian too, which may be the case. But this is really designed for the member or the guardian of the member. And so you got one of two options here. This is where there is a draw option, right? So you can literally let them kind of draw the signature. If that's not really the best option for them, you can actually assist with typing here. So you could maybe say, trainee. You can choose the font. They can choose the font there. Again, make sure you save. All right. I keep getting this message here. We'll talk about that in a minute. So you can see I don't have any yellow left. I've completed this required field for member guardian signature. At this point, I'm ready to sign this note. And actually, the system keeps kind of prompting me for that. If I actually hit save one more time, it says, you've addressed all the goals. Do you want to complete the note by signing? And yes, absolutely. I want to go ahead and sign this thing. So I put in yes, right? I'm going to put in my same password that I used to log into OnTarget. And there we go. I get note successfully saved, which is exactly what I want to see. And you'll see here this little chart on the right-hand side. It went straight from work in process to signed all the way to approved. So the system auto-approved my signed note. All right, one last thing I want to show you guys. If I actually two things, take that back, two things. If I need to delete or edit a schedule here on desktop, okay? It's very easy. If I just open, let's say like tomorrow, maybe I'm not going to work tomorrow, or maybe that day is going to get shifted to another day, okay? It's very easy to edit. So I just click on it, open it up. And let's say again, maybe the example is, oh, we shifted times around and now this is going to be for 3 hours. Super easy, right? Hit save. Now it reflects 3 hours of time. Or again, maybe we're shifting things around. I'm going to be working on Saturday instead of Friday, and I just need to delete this one, right? I don't want to go over my hours that I'm allocated. And so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this scheduled event. And so right here, the trash can, I would just hit delete, hit yes, and there you go, it's gone. Okay. Last thing in desktop, and then we'll move over to mobile. So timesheets. Up until now, you've been turning in paper timesheets. Maybe you've been having to drive those into the office or fax them, email them in. So as of Monday, you're not going to have to do that anymore. You're going to have the digital timesheets right here. Okay. And that's exactly what I'm seeing here. If I actually click on 4/27 to 5/3, that's the one for this week, right? Just for this training example. So if I click right there, you can see it says unsigned, and then I can expand it. This is basically showing me a running tally of all of the time that I've been doing this week. You don't have to add this manually. Okay, all this time is coming in automatically. Your timesheet is getting created automatically when you complete your notes. So it's not just one more thing you've got to do. It's for you, really. It's for you to reconcile your time. So if you look here at the bottom, I'm kind of moving my cursor right here just to the left of midline. Total hours 4.5. It's really for you to say, do my hours look correct? Do I have all of my hours represented? If you don't, then you definitely want to go back to scheduling. Make sure you haven't missed any schedules, right? You maybe make sure you don't have any schedules where you haven't started notes. You definitely would want to bounce out to dashboard. Maybe you started the note and maybe you thought you had signed it, but here you go. All right, I've got one from the 26th from this week, and I did not complete this. So this is one where I would definitely want to open that up. I would want to finish it up if I haven't done everything. I would want to click on sign, which is in the bottom right. Put in my password, hit OK. And once you do that, it's going to drop off of that list. Okay. And it's going to come into your timesheet automatically. So at the end of the pay period, and your pay periods are going to run weekly. Okay. That's what you're going to start seeing. So for that first pay period, it's actually going to run Monday through Saturday, which I believe is the 4th through the 9th. Then it will transition a bit. It's going to go actually from Sunday to Saturday. Don't worry about that right now, guys. Some messaging is going to go out around that. So you're going to kind of see it in writing. So that's going to be going out very, very soon. But you will see these weekly time sheets, right? These weekly pay periods. And for you guys, it will start on, again, 5/4, okay, and run Monday through Saturday. So again, this is unsigned. If this were the end of the week, I'm coming up on Saturday, I believe, what did I say, the 9th? I would want to, number one, make sure my hours are correct, and then I want to click on sign, the bottom right here where it says sign. I want to click on that, type in my password, hit OK, and you would see this thing go from unsigned to signed. And so for the week, I'm done. I've closed out the week. I'm good. My timesheet's good. I'm going to get paid. Everything goes through correctly. And then I'm ready to start my next week. As far as scheduling, guys, you do have the option to, and I'll just show you this very briefly. You do have the option to schedule using a recurrence. So same idea here. If I click on, say, tomorrow, right? I'm going to pick my name just real quick. I want to show you this because some of you guys may want to use this recurrence function. So again, let's say I've got that non-EVV. Maybe I'm doing 2 hours a day, right? So instead of hitting save here, I would hit recurrence. And I do get the ability to schedule multiple days at a time using this calendar view, okay? So I can click on choose specific dates if I want to. Like I can say, yeah, I'm going to do this date, that date, this one, right? You could do it kind of in a more random way. But if you have a very regular repeating schedule, I would not suggest scheduling through many months. I would actually do this maybe like a month at a time. And so I would say, I'm going to do my scheduling for May, and then maybe you do Monday through Friday. So see, when I'm clicking on the dates, it turns from yellow to green. And so that's indicating, again, that those are the dates that I'm going to populate. So that would basically put 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, for the whole month of May. So if I were to hit save, that would populate to the calendar. Okay. So that's how that recurrence. If you want to go that route and you want to do the recurrence, you can do it that way too. Might be a big time saver for you. All right, guys. So I'm going to stop my share. And let's go ahead and kind of shift gears for the second half. I do want to show you guys the mobile. So let's go ahead and get that loaded up, get that queued up here. Okay. All right, guys, should see my screen now. So here you go. Here's the mobile application. Yeah, thank you, Kamai. I appreciate that. Yeah, so this is the mobile application. Again, some of you, hopefully you've already downloaded this. If you haven't, again, super easy. Just go out to the App Store or to Google Play. Just search for On Target or On Target Clinical. You're going to find a kind of a bluish icon that looks like the one in the upper right, and download it, and you're on your way. So you do have a forgot password here as well. If you do forget your password once you've reset it, you'll get a reset link sent to your email address. So let's go ahead and get logged in. Put in my password, and here we go. So the landing page for the mobile is the schedules. Okay, it's the scheduling section. All right. So you can see right now, there's that old time. There's the one from Sunday. Actually, and here's actually the one from Monday where I have not even started the note. Remember, you guys probably saw that on the desktop, right? So when I said show note not created, and I saw the one for Monday the 27th, that was it. I have not even started that note yet, and I need to start it. However, I want to go ahead and add a schedule on here for today. So the little purple, see the kind of the purple create schedule plus mark? I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on the calendar. I'm going to select today, the 30th. Okay. Click on OK. And then my name populates as the trainer. My client, I'm going to pick trainee 3. This time I'm going to pick the EVV service because I want you guys to see that clock in and clock out. I'm only, just for the purpose of the training, I'm going to put like 15 minutes on here because we're kind of pressed for time a little bit. So 15 minutes, I'm going to click on create schedule. And there you go. There's my schedule right there. Thursday, the 30th of April. And you can see I've got a clock in. Okay. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to go ahead and click clock in. I get a clock in successful. And there you go. There's my timestamp, clocked in as of 4:36 p.m. Okay. And you'll notice, again, kind of what I mentioned on the desktop, I now see clock out. Carrie, yep, your supervisor should auto-populate. You shouldn't even have to select that. That should auto-populate. Yep. Okay, and then at this point, guys, I can go ahead and start my node, and that's what I'm going to do. If you're not ready to start your node, like you're going to be working for a couple of hours, you don't have to start it right away. If you're just kind of focused on the clock in and the clock out. If you don't have to clock in and clock out, just add your schedules, go to your schedule, hit start note, and start your node. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start my note. Okay. Actually, before I do that, let me show you just, again, managing schedules on the mobile. It's a little bit different. So right here where you see Saturday, right? The 3 little dots, the vertical dots right there, kind of see on the right. If I click on that, I can do one of 3 things. I can edit the shift, I can mark it as missed, or I can delete. I'm going to actually edit this because what I want to do is I want to change this to Friday, because you know what? We've changed. We're actually going to be doing Friday instead. Okay. So here we go. We're going to do an hour, and now I'm going to update. And there we go. Now it's on Friday, the 1st of May, 1 hour of CLS EVV, and I'm all set for tomorrow. Again, like if I needed to delete it, I would hit the 3 dots, hit delete shift, I'm good to go. So that's kind of how you manage that. We did get this question a couple of times, like if you needed to do the recurrence here within the mobile. Right now, we do not have that functionality as far as doing the multiple dates of service on scheduling. So if you do need to put in a recurrence and you're needing to do it for a month or maybe even 2 months at a time, you are going to have to use the desktop version to get multi-days scheduled using recurrence. If that's not an option, you certainly can, you always have the ability to schedule here one at a time. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start my node. So click on Start Node in the green. And this should already start looking familiar because guess what? It's the same 3 goals. I've got my money management goal, I've got my laundry goal, and I've got my meal prep goal. Okay. So the first one, I'm going to click on, again, this is the money management. So it's just very mobile friendly, right? Yeah, we'll kind of get to. I'm seeing some of the chat there around some other questions around transport and things like that. We can certainly answer those. All right, so interventions, again, let's say for this one, we had to do a little bit of gestures, right? Maybe for some money management, you know, maybe we kind of decreased, right? Complete, it cycles me right to the very next goal. And actually what it's doing is it's auto-saving the previous goal selection, right? This one, laundry, maybe we did a little bit better, right? We did a little bit of verbal prompting. We gave some prompting here, and hey, we saw some improvement. Maybe we said, great with laundry today. I'm going to complete that one. And then finally, again, this person just, we're doing great with meal prep. And we're kind of plateauing, but we're still doing great. So same. All right, guys. So there you go. You can kind of see when I cycle back, the system just cycled me right back to the beginning of the goals. And now I've got the green check marks next to each one, indicating that I have addressed them all. Okay. So here you go, additional fields. All that is, guys, when I click on that, that's the member guardian signature. It's just like what you saw on the desktop. Okay. 1 of 2 options here. There's, again, the draw, which I think on a mobile device, that is perfect, right? You've already got a touch screen. If you're there with your client, your individual you're working with, you can flip your phone around. They can put their name on it, and then you can hit save. If you do want to do the choose signature, you can certainly type that in, right? You can do that. But yeah, I'm just going to stick with draw. I'm going to go ahead and save. All right. I'm not going to confirm. I'll show you what that looks like. I can confirm my time, but I haven't clocked out yet. All right. So I'm going to kind of hang tight on that. We're going to kind of clock out just a little bit later because we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep going through a couple of things these last few minutes we've got here. All right, so back to schedules. And if you ever need to refresh this, just like, you know, you guys are so used to mobile, I'm sure. If you just kind of pull down, it's going to refresh the page. All right, there. So again, clocked in as of start node. If I click on start node, it just takes me right back into that node I've already started. Okay, so we're going to kind of finish up the, if you look along the bottom, in the dark blue, just kind of call your attention. Schedules, moving from left to right. Schedules, notes, timesheets, profile. I'm going to go from schedules to notes now. So very similar to desktop, but has some differences too. Here I'm seeing the not started. It's very clearly showing me where I have scheduled events and I have not even started. Okay. So I've got some from way back in April, but guess what? There's that one again, the pesky one from Monday. It's the one from the 27th. I have not started that node. So that's a great way also to kind of keep up with like, okay, where do I have schedules that I maybe drop down onto the calendar, but I haven't even started them yet? There you go. I can see it right there. Yeah, question there, and Kamaya, you're probably grabbing that, answering that. If not, we'll get it at the end. Yeah, so I would definitely want to click Start Node. Now, any unsigned, again, this is kind of like unfinished business again. Here's one from Sunday. Here's the one from today, right? Here's the one from April 30th that I need to continue, and I need to go ahead and sign it, and I haven't signed it yet. However, this is EVV. This has to do with clocking out. I'm going to hang tight on that because I want to clock out. Okay, I want to actually show you guys what that looks like to clock out. Okay. So continuing to move along the bottom, I've got timesheets. So I'm moving along the bottom in the blue, timesheets. And here you go. Again, very similar to desktop, just in a mobile-friendly format. Here's my pending timesheet for 4/27 to 5/3. If I click on that, I can see my total hours. I can see, for some of you guys, you will be doing some mileage. So more information to come on that. I think for now, you'll be doing some of that on paper. But yeah, mileage is coming. Yeah, understanding you are switching to weekly pay. That is absolutely right, Carrie. So that messaging is going to be coming out soon. You're going to get all of that detail very, very soon. So just kind of hang tight on that. You'll get all that detail. So it's showing me in yellow again because I have not signed this thing. So see if I scroll to the bottom, it says sign timesheet. All right. So right now, with it being Thursday, I'm not at the end of the pay period. I've got a couple of more days of work I'm going to do. I don't want to sign this thing yet. Okay. So that's that. I mean, I would really be hanging tight on that for now. But it's good. It's totaling up my hours. I can see I've got 4.5 hours total so far. I will call your attention to the add time button. That is how you guys, for those that will be providing like mileage time, or if it is a non-billable time or like a training time or something like that, that's how you typically add non-billable time. Okay. So you would click again on that add time. So if it's time that's not coming directly from notes, right? It's like non-billable time. That's where you would then choose the date. You're going to be loaded up with the things you are authorized to provide. So if it's something like mileage or training time or something like that, you're going to see it in there and you're going to be able to add it. So if you don't see anything, you likely don't have that authorization, or it could be that it's just not in there yet. Okay. All right, guys. So that's a timesheet. Here's profile. Very quickly here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to refresh that page. Let me jump back to schedules because I believe I can clock out at this point. Let me go ahead and clock out. Clock out. There we go. Clock out successful. Perfect. There we go. So the last thing I would need to do with that note is I need to sign it. Actually, let me do that. So if I go to notes, all right, and there's unsigned, And there it is. It's Thursday the 30th. I've clocked in, I've clocked out. I'm going to click on continue note. There's all three goals that I've already addressed. I've already gotten my signature there, right? Or the signature of the member. And all I've got to do at this point, guys, is just confirm time. And there you go. There's my exact clock in time, 4:36. Clock out is 4:47. And I am ready to sign this thing. So click on sign note. I'm going to put in my password, same one that I keep on plugging in there. Click confirm. And there you go. Note data refreshed successfully and note signed successfully. Perfect. And now you can see unsigned, I've only got one left. So that looks good. If I then go to my timesheet, I've now got another quarter hour in there, right? I've got 4.75 hours total. So I'm really getting my hours in now. All right. Profile. Just want to touch on a couple of last things here, guys, and then we'll kind of wrap up, and then we'll save a little bit more time for any additional questions you may have. Profile, this first one, demographic, this is your information. So this is where you can just confirm, like, does this look correct? I would certainly do that. I would make sure, does your date of employment look right? Does your address look correct? Phone number, all that good stuff. If it does not look correct, then definitely reach out to administration, reach out to HR, Procare Unlimited, outofboundhealth.com, let somebody know. You can't, you're not going to be able to edit this. This is read only, but you can let somebody know. Okay. Assign clients. Certainly make sure these are your correct clients. We would hope that is the case. If you expand that little caret there, you can see some good identification there, right? So you're seeing things like the address, the date of birth, gender, all that good stuff. Eventually, guys, just on the horizon, won't be too long, you're going to be seeing your pay checks in here, your stubs. So all of that information is going to be in here, your pay stubs, eventually your tax info. So all that will be part of On Target. It's all just going to be in one place, makes it so much easier for you. And also certifications. So if you have, again, any certifications coming due, all that kind of stuff comes in there. All right, guys, all the way to the left. Okay, so the far left at the bottom, Action Center with the exclamation point. I'm going to click on that. So last couple of things here. The notes, what you're seeing here is a combination of what you see in notes, which is not started and unsigned. So that's actually aggregating all of that total, right? So anywhere that you have not even started a note, and it clearly shows you not started, and this was one from back in February, so I'm in trouble. All right, and then if we keep scrolling, okay, here's one, I've started it, but I just haven't signed it, okay? So I want to click on continue note. All right. Here we go. And guys, this is a good example. For those of you that are providing personal care, or you're providing respite, this is kind of what that note looks like, okay? So a little more simplified. If I click on one of these goals, we're talking like it's a yes, no, okay? It's not, you're not doing these intervention and assessment prompts. It's just, did you do the meal prep and feeding or did you not, right? So, and then back at Action Center, there's a timesheet link, right? And guess what, guys? I'm going to go ahead and sign that one. So right there at timesheets, I'm going to click on sign timesheet. If I'm good with my time, it's the end of the week. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of wrap things up. Timesheet signed successfully. Boom, I am done. I don't have any pending timesheets. I don't have anything else that I've got to do. Now, if I need to kind of get back at those signed timesheets, if I click on timesheets, there you go. I've got a historical record. So I can see that time right there. And I can see, yep, it's in green now. Green means go. I'm good to go. And nothing left to do there. I've already signed it. Back at Action Center, that's really it, guys. I mean, notes, timesheets, again, certifications will start a little bit later. You're not going to see anything there to start. And then last couple of things, the little house icon, the home icon in the top left. If you click right there, if you ever get lost, on the mobile and you're just like, hey, I'm turned around, just click on home. Okay. Click on the home icon and that will take you, you can go straight to schedules, right? From home, I can go straight to notes. All right. So that's just kind of a good navigation tip if you ever kind of get turned around, get kind of lost. If you need to forcibly log out, you'll notice on the bottom left, you've got log out. So if you need to secure your device, maybe you're going into a public area, you want to just make sure like, hey, I want this thing to be secure, right? Now, after a certain amount of time, the system will auto log you out. But yeah, if you need to force log out, you can do that right there. But guys, other than that, that is really it in terms of the training for desktop and mobile for OnTarget. Yeah, we'll kind of hang tight here and sort of manage the